So here we have the right figure. Sorry for the interruption. So here we have an angle gamma of 122 degrees, and then for M you have 6, and for N you have 9. So you have two sides and one angle, and it's asking for another side. So whenever you have two sides and an angle and it asks about another side, it's the law of cosine. So expressed with the same notation as here, c squared equals n squared plus m squared minus 2mn cosine of gamma. So here we have 6 squared plus 9 squared minus 2, 6, 9 cosine of 122 degrees. And of course, if I want the z is the square root of all this, and the answer to that would be 14. So these are the real statics problems. Now we have to determine the magnitude of the resultant. Excuse me. So this is what you have, and that's vector notation because it's in bold. And so I'm going to do it in a tabulated form. You have 3 forces, 1, 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to do F1, F2, and F3. And that's not the nicest table, but at least it helps. So what we have here is F1 in X. I know it's negative because of the direction, and I know it's 30, so it's a negative 30, and it's the X, so it would be 4/5, and this is negative 24. Now in Y, I know it's positive, and it's 30, and it's times 3/5, and then I know this is 18, and then F2, I know in X and in Y it's going to be negative, so it's a negative, and I have 20, and depending on where you do the angle, I'm going to do the angle here. That's 20 degrees. So it could be minus 20 times the sine of 20. So this is negative 6.84. And in Y I know it's a negative as well. But then it's in X is sine of 20. In Y it would be cosine of 20. And this equals negative 18.79. And then the 30, the F3 in X is positive, and it's 50, and in Y is 0 because it has no component. So here is the summation, and so here I get 19.16 and negative 79. Okay, so this here is the summation of the forces in X, and here is the summation of the forces in Y. So the resultant force is going to be equal to the sum of the forces in X squared plus the sum of the forces in Y squared. Okay, 19.16 squared plus 79 squared. And this 0.79 is so small that is, since it's three significant figures, then we get 19.2, which is the closest to 19. Remember, it's the best answer that you have, okay? So the next problem is calculating the x component, and we've already have to do that. So here's the x component before. So here we have the x component, and then the y component here is 0.79 negative, and then here is 0.79 negative. So in order to solve those three problems, you have to go through it. And then finally, this problem, it's about C, this force, and C is 75 pounds. And then you have an angle here that is 125 degrees, okay? So the question here is how you want to do this, if you want to do the angle here or here. And of course, you know, it's easier to say when a 125 minus 90 is 35. So this angle here is 35, but it doesn't matter how you do it. For sure, you know that it's a negative in x, so it would be negative 75, and then it's the 35, so we're going to use the sine, which is the component in x here, sine of 35, which is excuse me, negative 43 pounds. So this is the correct answer. And that's it.